Well, welcome. So today we're going to talk about a timeline event. This is a great event, course that I've taken a couple of times and I really love it. And we've got the main trainer for that course, which is Andrea Berger, a longtime trainer at the Monroe Institute, and also a huge contributor to the development of our app. So thank you very much for that, Andrea. I also have with us a wonderful participant that I've gotten to know over a couple of months now. Billy Pettinger. She has created this beautiful song that we're looking to share. And so the goal of this session today is really to share our experiences with you and to listen to Billy's song for inspiration as well. So welcome, Andrea, and welcome, Billy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Stephen. Nice to see you all again.
Nice, nice. Okay. So Andrea, maybe to start us off, tell us a little bit more about timelines.
Okay, so Timeline is a program that we've had since 2005, and it's one of those hidden gems at the Monroe Institute. It is a program to travel in time and discover and better understand your total self. You learn time travel techniques. And all the exercises, meditations are aided by special Monroe frequencies that take you into a state of consciousness called freedom from time or no time. And you have the ability to connect with your inner guide. We call it the inner self-helper for guidance and healing. And you'll be taken to revisit early years of your life, and you are going to be assisted by your inner self-helper to help your younger self to deal with a difficult situation or a trauma. So it's so important in this program to experience and heal important events, not only from your past, but also the future. Mm-hmm. It's also great to discover and bring to fruition potentials, abilities, capabilities that you have, talents that you have, and discover the source of where they came from and how you can bring them to fruition more in this life. And most importantly, then you also travel in time and explore and learn from the experiences and adventures of other selves in other times, like what some people call past lives.
Right, right. Wonderful. And Billy, from a participant perspective, what did you see as the benefits of the course?
It's a chance to remember how powerful we really are. You're never a victim of your own life. You're never trapped. And I think we forget that sometimes one challenging choice can set up a completely different trajectory that'll change your life forever, and the possibilities are limitless. So this is a chance to remember that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say for me personally, what was really interesting is that we're capable of so much more than we realize. And, we've got lots of different courses for healing and remote viewing, but this was also another way to expand our abilities, because it was so fascinating to be able to shift my consciousness to different times and explore, when I was younger, when I passed this life, other lives. And so this is what I love about coming to the Monroe, and I've been coming here for 21 years, is expanding my abilities. And I have access to so much more information and abilities than I realize. So coming and take the course and go, oh, I can go back to when I was being born and experience that. I can look at when I passed this life or when I go into other lives, and you go, wow, what is available to us, what we're capable of is just so much bigger. And I know Bob Monroe says that in his books, but I find personally anyway, it's coming to the courses and practicing and learning how to do that really makes it real for you. So yeah, no, this was a great course. And Lee Stone was the developer of this course many years ago. And Andrea, I don't know if you remembered, but I made it a mission for me. I actually took the last course before Lee retired. And I was so happy that I had that with you, Andrea and Lee, and just learning from him. And I was so impressed by how much you've taken on from Lee and made sure you continued that tradition in the course. And it's just wonderful. So yeah, it's a great, fascinating course. And you're right, it's kind of like a hidden gem. But no, it's good. Okay, so let's tackle some questions, from the folks that are out there. let's maybe get this from both of you. So, Billy, what do you see as the greatest benefit of taking this course?
I think it brought some unexpected healing for me. We've talked about the benefits of viewing your own life and maybe past lives from a different perspective. And really all you need to do is just turn your head one way or the other, and it changes how you view everything that's happened and everything that is about to happen. So I think that, it ties in with power, but yeah, just to be able to, no matter how great or horrible you think something was, you possess the ability to, you hold the power to view that how you wish. So, which I think anybody can benefit from.
Right, right. And Andrea, from a training perspective, what are you seeing the benefits for the participants?
It's always wonderful to see people heal themselves through time and space. So I had a participant once who came in and she couldn't hear very well, and she had no memories from her childhood, anything before the age of 6. And throughout the program, her hearing improved. After each exercise, she told me, turn my volume down a bit, turn my volume down a bit. And she discovered that what really happened by doing this time travel, discovered that what really happened to her in her childhood was some traumas and abuse, to the point where as a child, she would cover her ears and say, I don't want to hear the screaming. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And she programmed herself to not be able to hear. And by discovering and healing all these traumas from her current life's past, she was able to improve drastically her life. So her life became much, much better. For me personally, when I took the course many years ago from Lee, I really felt that the ability to let go of limiting beliefs and thoughts that we have, and explore where they came from and how they're limiting us, and letting go of them.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point too. I'll speak as a participant coming in. I was like, I want to go play around in time and go forward and backward in time. That would be pretty neat to do. But the healing part was what surprised me, because I wasn't looking for that, to be frank. But going back to earlier parts of your lives where you didn't necessarily resolve a situation, and re-examining it now as an adult helped me to look at it and go, to that little kid that was experiencing it, it's okay, it'll be all right. And you can let go of that bottled up energy that was holding me back. That was very helpful. And I've actually even used it in my corporate life, where there were situations where I thought maybe I didn't handle that very well and I wasn't happy with it, and actually went back to that time and explored taking a different alternatives. I don't know if it really worked, but there's a part of me that felt that healed that situation and healed the relationships with other people, because I just said, I have the ability to go back and change things. And maybe it didn't happen physically, but non-physically it happened. And that affects the physical world as well. So yeah, these are really handy tools that you can even bring back, to your corporate life as well.
Yeah. Or if you have a coworker and you have this relationship that's just not going that well, and you wonder what is it that is between us, and you do some meditation, time travel, and you find out how you've had interactions with this person throughout other lives, and that gives you an understanding, so that you don't feel, oh, I'm the victim, or you may have been the person that created some trouble for that other person. So, and also with loved ones, oh my God, I met this person and we're so good friends, and exploring what adventures we had in other lives is really cool, and allows us to take the friendship to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the interesting questions came in here. It says, in time travel, can you investigate missing time you may have experienced? So I'll interpret that a bit. I think he's asking if you, or he or she is asking if there was maybe a sense that you missed a portion of time somewhere. Can you go back and see what that gap was? What are your thoughts? So both of you. Yeah.
I do think that that is possible. Often in this program, or even when people just listen to one exercise with these freedom from time frequencies, the time, depending on your intention, can stretch out, or it can be like, wow, a whole hour passed and I just felt like it was 5 minutes. So you can go back in with your intention to those events where you felt like you have some missing time, and with the help of your guide ask, what is it? Can I understand more what was happening there? Sometimes, especially if these things happened in childhood, there might be some hidden trauma that we kind of blocked out, and we just kind of cut away our conscious awareness of it. And going back and slowly looking at it, at the event, you may get some insights of what was going on in that situation from a higher purpose.
Yeah, makes sense. Billy, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I'm qualified to answer this, but I know sometimes when we're meditating, it's quite common to click out or feel as if you've lost time.
Right.
And I think the important thing to remember is that I'll use a music analogy because that's what I know. When you're learning a song, it doesn't necessarily matter if you know why the F is sharp in the key of G major. You can still play a song and it can still be beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then over time, you can start to revisit that song and that key signature, and your understanding starts to fill in.
Right.
As you travel this road. So I think the same could be said about any experience or lost time or gained time. I think we've all had a moment in our life where we're like, wow, that just flew by.
Yeah.
Like, where did that hour go? Time changes if you send it up into space. So, our relationship with it is open to interpretation.
Yep.
So I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, and it's so useful. Like I was in a corporate job, and I remember a very important meeting, and I was late due to traffic. And I was saying, I am not going to be late. I'm not going to be late. I'm not going to be late. And I kid you not, it just felt like the time was stretched, and I got there in plenty of time, which was almost not possible given how long I was traveling. Right. But so that is when you start taking away your limiting belief that time is serial and it's always the same, where you can be open to the idea, oh, I can time travel. That's a big jump for most people, but yeah. I can time travel, and that time is fluid. I can speed it up and I can slow it down. And now scientists even are saying that is definitely what's happening, at least with the small particles in quantum physics. Yes. So allowing yourself to explore time freely. And sometimes you get into a state where I feel like downloads are coming, and next thing I look, and 2 hours have passed. What have I done? Mm-hmm. And then when I look at it, what happened during that time, I was given information, or I was experiencing profound healing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I really treasure all these little time jumps here and there. And after you take this program and you start practicing with this open belief that you can time travel, you find yourself meeting people, and then you don't need to be in meditation. You just look at them and shift your consciousness a little bit, and then you say, oh, I remember you. Yeah. And with that understanding, your relationship, you don't even need to tell them about anything, but you just understand, oh, this is what's going on between us. And it's always fun to remember good friends.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I'm an engineer, so I like to take the practical side too. One of the ways I've used this in my life personally is shift my consciousness to go forward in time and then look backwards at my life. And, from that perspective, look at the decisions. And what's fun is you can play with it. You can say, okay, let's assume that I make the decision to go this way. What does the fallout of that? What does that look like afterwards? And then come back to that starting point, and let's go make the decision that way. And, you can kind of say, well, that's imagination, that's not. But one of the things I've come to realize with just this exploration of time and out-of-body experiences, it's really fluidic. It really seems as if it's your intention that concretes your permanent experience. So you have the ability to change. You have the ability to go forward in time and look at it and go, I want to see which choice makes sense for me and get that information. So it's very practical what you can do here. And the other caution I'll give, because in fact, I just had it today, I get a lot more deja vu. So, playing around with time, I feel like a part of my brain just now can jump backwards and forwards, voluntarily or not. So I was just walking into the lab and I was talking to Jason a few minutes ago, and I went, whoa, we've had this conversation before. And it's crystal clear. And I go, oh, and that happens more and more now, I find, doing this practice. So there's a caution for you, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's like having your own holodeck. You enter and you want to see how this particular scenario will play out, just to see, to make, like you said, a decision. And you go in and you kind of follow that through into the future. And then you can go back and say, oh, I want to try out a different scenario and try that. I think a lot of athletes are doing that. They, like skiers or gymnasts, in their head, they rehearse the future. Right. And that is the anticipation of the future by not just blindly going in whatever happens to you, but having actually the ability to try out multiple scenarios. And that's what we teach people in one of the exercises in this program, in Timeline, is to meet their future wise self. And have that your future you from to be part of your guidance team. So you can ask them, is this decision in our best interest? Yay, nay, and have that connection with your future wise self and use it in daily life so that you can maximize a wise decision in your daily life.
Yep, that makes sense. So Billy, people are excited to hear your song, and they have some questions for you around that. So are Billy's talents and abilities carried over from other lives? What do you think?
I did a meditation during the course that was to look deeper into some talent or whatever. And so, of course, I had to ask, well, what's up with me and music? Why can't I be in a grocery store and I know all the chords to the song that's playing on the radio? This has always been something that's been in my life, like playing Twinkle Twinkle the first time that I heard it. I just, what's up with that? And I come to find out that it's more to do with vibration and frequency than actually music, which I found really interesting, because when you think of all the ways that we use all of those things, healing, creating sound. I mean, everything in this world is a vibration and a frequency.
Yep.
So of course I would end up doing something with music.
Yeah, well, I studied quantum physics as well, and it's fascinating how it just comes back to energy and energy moving, which is ultimately frequency. And you go, wow, that's so fundamental in everything we do. And we respond to it like we're part of it, I guess, and we resonate with it. So it is amazing that you have that ability, and you're in for a treat. I've listened to Billy's song; it's beautiful. So, well, it's coming soon. Hold soon. All right. So another question along the same lines: do you think that the songs were influenced or inspired by your future timeline, or is this something, did it come from another source? How did the songs come about?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not the first creative person or inventor or scientist. I mean, humanity has referenced this since we began creating things, that we don't know where the idea came from. It hit us on the head. It fell in our lap. Right. So I read this book called The Brain That Changes Itself. And the idea that I had the ability to, fix my inherently flawed brain was super exciting. So I started with, I learned 31 songs in 31 days. And I thought, if I did like one song a week, well, that's 52 songs, but it's going to take a year. And it's proven that it's better if you just throw yourself into it and immerse yourself, right? So, okay, a song a day. Well, it worked out pretty well. And I ended up doing that for 4 years in a row. And then this year I decided I was going to try to write 31 songs in 31 days. And by about the fourth day, I became acutely aware that I was not really writing the songs. I was kind of just listening for songs that actually exist.
Right.
And you can do with that information, what you choose. Maybe I'm hearing things, maybe I'm stealing things I heard in the grocery store. But I can't really describe just how preformed they were, because not only was I writing them, I would then have to go and record the whole song in a day. So, if I'm spending most of the day writing the song, the recording is not going to get that much time. So it was like, it all happened very fast. And much the same with this song. I was rifling through a cupboard. And since I started doing all this meditating, and my New Year's resolution was to meditate more.
Right.
I used to travel with like anxiety medication everywhere I went. It was in my car, it was in my bag, it was in my, kitchen, like it couldn't be close enough just in case. And 6 months of meditating regularly. And I just was like, well, I'm not using this. I'll put it in a drawer. So I come across it, and it started with the line, all the medicine you don't take.
Okay.
And in about 15 minutes, I had this song, and it created this reality, I think, that we're in, or maybe it already existed. I sent it to some people that took the course.
Yeah.
And it grew some legs, and here we are.
Isn't it amazing? Now, I actually, do you think when you look back that it was almost already laid out that we were going to be the three of us here together having this conversation?
I mean, I never could have imagined it. I could never have been so bold.
Yeah.
But I mean, how cool is that? That is just the coolest thing. And Andrea mentioned earlier that she might play the song for the next timeline course that's coming up. And I was like, man, I'm already crying. We haven't even started. Like, that is, we are so blessed to be a part of this universe.
Beautiful.
And Billy, you're such a success story, and that's why I want to take your song and play it to other timeline participants, because it shows how you can the talents that you have and ability, they can kind of be activated and enhanced after doing a lot of inner healing. And I love the first line of all the medicines that I don't take, meaning how much healing has gone through that you've gone through, and reminded me of that lady that's all the hearing aids that I'm not using anymore. And and it's just so rewarding to hear you and other participants that have benefited from this course in really daily life. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and I see some questions about the meditation, and I think we can teach it techniques, but ultimately it does come down to the individual practicing. And I'm guilty of this too. When you get busy, it's so easy to stop, but then I miss it, and I know, okay, I need to get back to meditating, because that's when you get access to this information. That's when life kind of seems to flow rather than push and pull. So yeah, meditation is so key, and constantly practicing, I think, is key.
And for me, it's like we're teaching at the Monroe Institute some techniques where you can actually tap into these, let's say, in this case, freedom from time, state of consciousness, anytime. So let's say you're walking in the park and you can tap into the energy of this freedom of time, where you can get creativity and insights and guidance. So you don't necessarily have to meditate lying down or the typical way. You can meditate just taking 1 minute in your chair, and you tap into remembering how it was for you in that state of consciousness, and you're there. And so we're encouraging people to use these states of consciousness that they learn at the Monroe Institute in daily life, so that they can kind of meditate all the time, or have access to those meditative all the times.
I feel like I need to share something about, you referenced the athletes, right? That visual, and this is another thing that's been scientifically proven, that visualizing your practice, this works great for musicians, but surgeons do it as well. Just visualizing, whatever you want to call it, is as effective as actually practicing. Now, you can't have one without the other. You can't just visualize. And if you just practice, you'll do great in C1, but that, maybe your progress is a little bit limited. This reality, I mean. But yeah, that's been proven that to be in a meditative state where you're just kind of, that counts as practicing. So do with that what you will.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Absolutely.
I read the study that proved that. And they basically had a control group, one group that just did normal physical practice, and then they had another group just do it mentally. And it was amazing how much better the mental group did. And that's fascinating because it was also physical ability. So somehow the muscles were getting that information as well. So yeah, very, very cool stuff.
Sometimes when I'm trying to learn a really hard piano song, I'll imagine that I'm going to wake up in a timeline where I already know it.
Exactly. And I used it in my corporate life back when I would visualize the end of the project meeting. The board was there, and I was giving the presentation at the end of the project, and everybody was happy with the end result and were clapping. Right. And I kid you not, I got to at the end of a project for which I was doing this type of visualization, or we call that also patterning or manifestation. And it was exactly how I envisioned it. They all started clapping. And there was one thing that was extra. One person, the leader of the board, gave me an actual gift. And that was the cherry on top. So going into practicing the future, multiple scenarios, there is no failure. You can you learn as much from scenarios that you decide in the end not to pursue, as you learn from the good ones. So just practicing the future and then going back in the past and practicing the past, meaning you resolve or do a different scenarios. If you could do it over, and if you had a do-over, you could go back to that event and say, I'm sorry, or thank you, or let me better understand the situation. Let's come up with a win-win situation, or stop, don't do. So you have the opportunity to rehearse multiple scenarios, how you would have wanted this event to have happened, so that you at least are peaceful for it. And then you feel, oh, I feel better now. It doesn't have that stuck energy that you have, like heaviness. And so it gives you a degree of freedom. And that's all about what we're trying at the Monroe Institute, to have freedom from the box, whatever your box is, as Bob would say.
Well, and I'll also add to that, it's about creating your life, because it's so easy to live life passively and just allow things to happen to you. But what we're talking about here with all these tools is about becoming active in your life, deciding what you want the outcome to be and putting the energy and the intent into that. And then you create your life. You become your creator. And I'm excited by people having these experiences, because then the light bulb goes off. They begin to realize, oh, I can do this. I can be a creator in my life. And that opens up such a much bigger world for everyone. So I know I just love what we do here, which is amazing. But I do want to get to Billy's song. So Billy, would you like to introduce it? And then we'll play your video.
This is a song I wrote called Timeline, and the lyric video was made by somebody I took Gateway with. Her name is Casey Moore. This is her first ever video, so another collaboration, and I hope you guys like it.
Wonderful. All right, back to the control room. Let's play the video.
All the medicine I don't take, all the choices I'm scared to make. Every moment I walked away, going over everything I didn't say. There will always be a great big world full of possibilities yet to unfurl. So many options, so many paths. There's a future where you left who you were in the past. just another timeline. So afraid you won't get it right. It wears you down until you're paralyzed. It's just another timeline. There's a brave new world outside. Every time that you close your eyes, it's just another timeline. What if it's never been too late for you to let it go, for you to start again? Nothing's ever been built to last. Right now is where you leave who you were in the past. And it's just another timeline. Just another timeline. All the medicine you don't take, all the choices we never made. It was just another timeline. Every moment I walked away, going over everything I didn't say. It was just another timeline. What if it's never been too late for me to let it go, for me to start again? Nothing's ever been built to last. Right now is where I leave who I was in the past. And it's just another timeline. Just another timeline.
Wow. Beautiful.
Thank you, Casey.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm looking at all of the comments coming back. Beautiful, love it, incredible voice, incredible lyrics. Great job, Billy. That's just beautiful. That's just beautiful.
Just wonderful.
Thank you for creating that, Billy.
Thank you for this opportunity. I was just saying in the chat, the best part for me is that so many of my friends that I've made, since starting this journey are here, and that's really special for me. So thank you everybody for being here. And if anybody wants to hear the demo that I sent Alyssa, it's on my Patreon page. It's $1, and then my new album will be out pretty soon. There's a pre-order up if anybody likes what they heard and they want to hear anymore.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Wow, that was definitely inspiring. Well, I guess we should kind of wrap it up to honor everyone's time. Andrea, would you like to start first?
Yes. I want to invite people to consider attending the Monroe Institute Timeline program whenever they feel called to do that. I just really think that it's a very powerful program that will really help you to heal and allows you to be able to have a more co-create the future that you desire. And by healing the past, we change and heal the future. So we are going to have the virtual version of the Timeline Basics virtual retreat. That's in beginning of October. And then there is a residential timeline program at the Monroe Institute in mid-October. So all are welcome. I also want to draw your attention to the Monroe app. There is one exercise there that I created and voiced based on timeline, and it's called the Exploring Past Lives. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested and want to explore, there's your opportunity. So
wonderful.
Thank you, Stephen, for highlighting this program, and thank you, Billy, for just showcasing the potentials of this program by proving how wonderful song you created.
And Billy, your closing thoughts.
Thank you. You already are everything you will become, and all of these, everything is just something to help you to get, where you're already heading. So don't forget, it's already within you. And I wish everybody good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, and I echo that, and I'll say, one of the amazing things about this course for me is just helping you to truly experience that you're so much greater than you are, because people don't go around telling you, hey, you can shift your consciousness around time, but you come here and we do that, and you do that all together, and then you go, wow, this is real, and it's practical. That, again, this is something you can use in your life, and I've used it in my life. Both Andrea and I talked about our corporate lives there, and it was useful. It worked. And so you are so much more powerful than you are. And exploring time can be one of the most interesting things you can do. Exploring your other lives, learning how they affect your life in this one, releasing those energies that are holding you back. It's amazing. And so I love the course personally as a participant before I was in this job, and I still love it now. And Andrea is a great trainer. She's one of my favorites. So highly recommend taking the course. And also just want to quickly say thank you to all of our donors that help make this all possible. And please be good, enjoy life, and explore. Bye now.
Bye. Thank you.